So this just happened a few minutes ago, and it was a long time in the waiting. Many fans were wondering where Nike has been with any Caitlin Clark merchandise whatsoever, and now for the moment many people have been waiting for. Caitlin Clark has dropped her signature logo for her product line.
And here's what you got, folks. The CC, as it unveiled and Nike showed us, it showed us that they're prepared to pursue the $1 billion revenue that Caitlin Clark is going to bring to Nike.
Nike's site just went down, and the reason is Caitlin Clark. This moment will be remembered as the night Nike's servers couldn't keep up with her star power. The second that navy and yellow logo tee went live at midnight, chaos hit instantly. What followed was unlike anything we've ever seen before.
According to Nike, the shirt is available, but it's not available just yet.
We're talking full on-site meltdowns, bots flooding the system, resellers flipping shirts for thousands within minutes, and sales that made even Jordan drops look tame. This is the story of how a $40 tee turned into the hottest item in sports merch history, and why Nike execs are already calling it the biggest launch they've ever seen.
We're live on WNIK, and as usual, we're talking about Caitlin Clark.
Millions of fans sat locked in on Nike.com, hands ready, cards in reach, waiting for the drop. The moment midnight hit, Caitlin Clark's logo tee went live, and in a matter of seconds, Nike's servers couldn't handle the stampede.
Imagine it's going to get sold out lickety-split. Caitlin Clark was first signed to Nike in April of 2024, so it took about a year and a half or so.
The traffic surge was so massive that even Nike's billion-dollar system couldn't keep up. It completely buckled under the pressure. Screens filled with error messages, customers were booted mid-checkout, and the Nike app went down right alongside the website. Inside headquarters, the IT team was thrown into full-on emergency mode.
Features interlocking Cs. Her mark is emblematic of ever-expanding range on the court.
Let me drop some numbers that'll blow your mind. Insiders at Nike revealed that in the very first 60 seconds, the site pulled in more than 10 million page views. That's more traffic than most websites see in an entire year. And before the system finally collapsed, Nike managed to push through over 500,000 orders in just the first hour. With tees priced at $40 for adults and $35 for kids, that adds up to nearly $20 million in sales. Gone in 60 minutes, and that's only what slipped through before the crash.
Feels good. Got the pants, got the charms, necklace, zipper, everything.
Now, put this in perspective. When LeBron's very first Nike sneaker dropped, it took an entire week to hit numbers like this. Even Jordan Retros usually max out at around 100,000 pairs in a single day. But Caitlin Clark's t-shirt, it blew past signature shoe sales in one night. While everyday fans were stuck battling error screens, resellers with bots and multiple accounts were cleaning up. Some reportedly walked away with hundreds of shirts in just hours.
Clark, that logo's okay. I would buy one of her shirts. I don't care about Indiana Fever or the Wnba that much, nor do I watch games, but it's a pretty cool logo. What do you think?
Just minutes after launch, Clark's shirt started popping up on StockX, eBay, and Grailed for $200, $300, even as high as $500. That's a markup of more than 1,200%. One reseller, known online as Sneaker King 23, reportedly cleared $50,000 in profit in a single night off these tees alone. The resale market went absolutely wild. StockX confirmed it saw more transactions in the first 24 hours for Caitlin Clark's logo tee than for any other non-sneaker item in its history. Bigger than Supreme drops, bigger than Travis Scott merch. Nothing even came close. This wasn't just a US craze, it went worldwide. When the drop hit Europe at 6 a.m. local time, the same madness unfolded, with Nike's servers overseas crashing all over again. In Asia, where Caitlin Clark's fan base is massive, the frenzy reached another level. On Chinese resale sites, the shirts were flipping for over 3,000 yen. That's more than $400 in US dollars. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, fans were literally camping outside Nike stores overnight, desperate just to get their hands on one.
It's really unique. You know, I think it's very creative for Caitlin Clark to come up with something like this. And I just enjoy all of it. You know, it's like aura.
We love it! It's simple yet it speaks a lot.
I love it so much.
Australia, Canada, Mexico. No matter the country, the result was the same. Instant sellouts. Demand was so overwhelming that Nike's global logistics team was said to be running around the clock, pulling non-stop shifts just to keep up with the flood of orders.
This is interesting because when I looked at it, it had an international presence, the CC. And you look at it, are we talking about Coach? Are we talking about Louis Vuitton? Are we talking about Gucci? The CC is a global international brand that will don on top products all throughout the world.
Here's what Nike never saw coming. They thought they were ready. Sources say the company rolled out 2 million shirts for the initial release, 2 million, which is more than most Jordan launches, but it didn't even come close to covering demand. Within just 3 hours, every single one was gone. Factories in Vietnam and Indonesia were instantly pushed into overtime, with workers called in for emergency shifts. Nike reportedly rushed an additional 5 million units into production on the spot. Shipping companies were offered triple their normal rates to prioritize Clark's merchandise, and FedEx and UPS trucks were stacked wall to wall with nothing but her shirts. The supply chain was in total chaos. At Nike headquarters, executives were holding emergency meetings at 3 a.m., with the CEO personally woken up to be briefed on the situation. This wasn't just a product launch, it was a phenomenon no one predicted. The marketing team scrambled to ride the momentum, while social media managers worked non-stop to calm furious fans who couldn't snag a shirt. Customer service lines, 5-hour wait times. And yet, here's the twist. Nike's stock price soared, jumping 8% in pre-market trading the very next day. Investors looked at the frenzy and called it pure gold. Wall Street analysts upgraded Nike's outlook, all because of one t-shirt. Meanwhile, Twitter, X, whatever you call it, completely blew up. Hashtag Caitlin Clark Nike was the #1 trend worldwide. Not just in sports, not just in the US, #1 across the entire globe.
I mean, you know, there's very few people who get the opportunity to say that they have a logo and to make the impact that she makes, not just, I think, in the sport, but globally, just by being who she is. She's a connector. She brings people together, and you know, I think for us to be a part of that, and whether it's, you know, as simple as being able to celebrate all of these things with her, or you know, as much as walking out into the arena and seeing the whiteout on the chairs out there, it's really cool. And it's really special and shoot, I'm talking about it right now, and just feeling the intense gratitude for me personally, being in women's basketball, to be able to be a part of this moment and to celebrate with her.
On TikTok, clips of fans desperately trying to snag the shirt racked up hundreds of millions of views. One video of a girl in tears because she couldn't get one pulled in over 50 million alone. Influencers were publicly offering $1,000 just to score a single shirt for content. Instagram blew up with posts from the lucky few who managed to buy one, while celebrities jumped online to complain they couldn't. Drake reportedly had his team scoop up 100 shirts from resellers. While Nike was celebrating a good problem, their rivals were in full panic. Adidas executives were said to be holding emergency meetings, scrambling over how they let this moment slip away. Under Armour's stock dipped 3% the day of the launch. Reebok, despite having Angel Reese, watched in shock as Clark's t-shirt drew more buzz than entire sneaker lines. Over at Puma, leadership was demanding answers about why Breanna Stewart's gear wasn't catching fire like this. Around the sports world, the same question echoed. How did Nike turn a simple t-shirt into a cultural earthquake? The answer was simple. Caitlin Clark. The celebrity reaction proved it. LeBron James posted himself in the shirt with the caption, "Respect greatness." That single post pulled in 5 million likes in just 1 hour.
That's our logo, man. Signature unveiled, man. Shout out to CC.
I like that one.
You rolling with it?
I'm rolling, bro.
All right, man. Her shoe is
What was this commercial?
Taylor Swift showed up at a Chiefs game rocking Caitlin Clark's logo tee under her jacket, and that single moment nearly broke the internet. Swifties and Clark fans joined forces, sending searches for the shirt skyrocketing more than 2,000% overnight. Even Michael Jordan reportedly picked up the phone to call Nike executives and congratulate them. And when MJ tips his cap to your merch sales, you know you've created something legendary. But the real madness came on October 1st. When the full Clark collection dropped, September suddenly looked like a warm-up act. Nike had to roll out a lottery system just to keep things semi-fair. They restricted purchases to one per customer, banned IP addresses tied to bots. It was straight up digital warfare. Now let's talk money. Analysts estimate the Clark logo collection pulled in over $500 million in its first month, $500 million from tees and hoodies alone, not even counting resale. To put that in perspective, the entire WNBA generated around $200 million in revenue for 2024. Clark's merch more than doubled that. In fact, Nike's quarterly earnings jumped 15%, with executives openly crediting Clark's line for the surge. One athlete, one product line, and it moved the needle for a $150 billion company. But this isn't just about sales, it's about a cultural shift. For the first time ever, women's sports merchandise outsold men's. A simple logo tee became more coveted than limited edition Jordans, something that seemed impossible until Caitlin Clark. Fashion magazines like Vogue, GQ, and Hypebeast covered the launch as if it were luxury fashion. Suddenly, the Clark logo became a status symbol. High schools reported fights breaking out over the shirts. On college campuses, underground markets popped up, students trading tees for PlayStations, concert tickets, even cars. This wasn't just merchandise anymore. It was a movement. Everywhere Nike operates, records were shattered. In China, it became the fastest selling Nike product ever. In Europe, it outsold World Cup soccer jerseys. In Canada, demand was so wild that the Prime Minister's office allegedly reached out to Nike for more supply. In Australia, the launch made national news when the site collapsed. Japan implemented a lottery system just to give fans a chance at one. In South Korea, police were called in to manage crowds outside Nike stores. This was global pandemonium, and with hype that big, fakes flooded in almost instantly. Within a week, counterfeit Clark shirts were on street corners, online marketplaces, and even on sites that looked completely legitimate. Nike responded with an authentication program, rolling out QR-coded tags and deploying extra security teams worldwide to hunt down counterfeits. The FBI's counterfeit goods division had to step in. Customs agents were intercepting containers packed with fake Clark merchandise arriving from overseas. Estimates suggested that for every authentic shirt sold, 3 counterfeits were circulating. The black market for Clark gear had turned into a billion-dollar headache. Other WNBA players were watching in shock. Asia Wilson, who has her own Nike sneaker line, saw a t-shirt outsell her entire collection. Sabrina Ionescu's merchandise looked like it was standing still compared to Clark's explosive sales. And here's the kicker, even Clark's competitors were buying in. Opposing players were posting photos wearing her logo, proving that this wasn't about rivalry, it was about recognizing a cultural icon. Clark herself was reportedly stunned by the response, posting a simple thank you on social media that racked up 10 million likes. Everywhere she went, fans were wearing her logo. If a t-shirt caused this level of chaos, imagine what's coming when the signature shoe drops in 2026. Nike is already gearing up for what insiders are calling the launch of the century. Analysts predict the Clark shoe could generate $1 billion in its first year, making it the most successful signature shoe launch in history. Jordan took years to hit numbers like that. Nike is preparing like never before, expanding server capacity, hiring extra store security, and coordinating with law enforcement for crowd control. This isn't just a product launch anymore, it's a global event. Caitlin Clark didn't just break records, she annihilated them. A simple logo on a t-shirt became the most sought-after piece of sports merchandise ever. Nike's $28 million deal? They're likely making that back every week. Clark proved once and for all that women's sports merchandise doesn't just compete with men's, it can dominate it. This will forever be remembered as the day Caitlin Clark broke the internet, broke Nike, and shattered every sports merchandise record in history. And the wildest part? This is only the beginning. Did you manage to get a Clark logo shirt, or are you still hunting? Drop your story in the comments and subscribe for more insane sports business breakdowns.